Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Golden Ratio podcast. I am Jen, GR Mom, joined as always by GR Dad.
Hi.
How's it going, GR Dad?
Good.
Took you a second there.
No, I didn't know if I had like a, rote response or if it was just like normal response.
Well,
I don't have anything funny.
Is this a bonus podcast for our subscribers, or is this a regular podcast?
I think regular first.
You got big plans for the night, saying first
Well,
there.
And then.
You have called us together for this No Rules podcast.
Oh my goodness. When did I say no rules? Did I say no rules?
Several times tonight, yes.
Bonus modus, then, if it's no rules.
Then that would be for the subscribers.
Oh my
God. It can be no rules.
No rules!
There you go.
All right. It's no rules, but there's going to be some rules.
Do you want to try it again? From the top? Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Golden Ratio podcast. I am Jen, GR Mom, joined as always by GR Dad.
I'm doing pretty well. No rules!
You want to try one more time?
Sure.
You good with that one?
Yeah, no.
I'm looking at like the little waveform. There's a big spike when you talk. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Golden Ratio podcast. I am Jen, GR Mom, joined as always by GR Dad.
Hi.
How's it going, GR Dad?
Pretty good.
Excellent, excellent.
Is this going to be a rules or a no rules?
No rules.
Woo! No rules.
All right.
Yeah, baby.
Since it's no rules, we don't have a cocktail of the week, but we did make ourselves the Chicago handshake, the viral Malort White Claw cocktail that many, many of you have sent us.
Sorry, I spoke over you. What's it called?
The Chicago handshake. It's grapefruit, White Claw, and Malort.
I think it's the handshake, but you frown on my creativity.
I am a person who held in my heart the standard amount of disdain for White Claw. And I feel like I have tried it before and didn't like it. And so I was like, if you had to mix White Claw with Malort, grapefruit is absolutely the correct choice. And so I bought, embarrassedly, a case of grapefruit White Claw. And when I opened it,
I know you had to stand in line behind all the 22-year-olds who were like, covertly buying it.
I got it on Instacart. And it kind of reminds me, I was not a big Seinfeld viewer, but I, have been exposed to a handful of episodes of Seinfeld. And there's an episode where maybe George, I think.
The little guy?
This could be a totally different show too, but I think he's talking about.
Is it The Simpsons? Come on.
There's he has no shame. And so there's this money to be made, like buying embarrassing products for people at like the drugstore. Like you go buy their hemorrhoid cream and their
like
adult diapers.
A George scheme, yeah.
Yeah. And I often think about how Instacart is basically that service now. Like you can put whatever in there. Somebody else has to buy it for you.
The driver judges you. If it's a delivery.
Yeah, but you don't have to buy it yourself. There's a driver at your door.
Is looking at you, taking a picture of your door, and then probably putting in the notes like 4 pounds of chocolate, 3 whipped cream dispensers. I don't know, something rum.
That just sounds like a good time.
Yes, it does. But judging, man, it's so judgy.
Well, anyway, Instacart brought me packed up the White Claw for us. We go pick it up.
You don't have to go to the packy.
No. And anyway, I tried some of the grapefruit White Claw when I was making this, and it's actually pretty good. Like, I would not object if somebody handed me one of those.
No, it's
I'm
kind
a
of
little embarrassed.
Well, it's like alcoholic seltzer. Alcoholic.
I understand. Literally, it's hard seltzer.
Yeah.
But the stuff I'd had before tasted quite bad.
Mm.
This tastes like a LaCroix.
Maybe you've lived in Florida too long. White Claw, baby.
Anyway, so we made the Chicago handshake. It tastes like Malort.
Yeah, it's fine, but it doesn't cover up the taste of the Malort very much.
No.
But I guess it adds to the alcohol. I didn't consider before I drank half a glass that it has alcohol and alcohol.
It's double alcohol.
You're diluting alcohol with
more
alcohol. That's a problem.
I didn't think about
it's not a problem right now, but maybe in half an hour it'll be a problem.
All right, Fetta's in flying mode.
Fetta is now hasn't touched the ground for a while. The ground is lava for Fetta. Woo.
She will jump full over the couch. She'll jump from the floor over the couch onto the ottoman, over other dogs.
Have you noticed this?
Yeah, she gets all of her hackles get up when she gets wound up like this.
Yeah.
Remy,
She'd be
shut
crazy. You're crazy, Feta. It's okay.
Zola.
It's okay. And
Remy.
Remy just stands there and yells.
Yeah.
Just yells at people. Hi.
Remy, this is why nobody likes you.
Remy is not the favorite when he's barky like that.
No.
Barky man.
So anyway, do you have any final assessments of the Chicago handshake?
I think it was good. But then again, I like Malort, so I can still taste the Malort. And I like the red ruby grapefruit White Claw fine, although for me, I would like to be sweeter, so maybe I should get like the peach or something.
You just put some sugar in it.
How about some non-sugar substitute? Some sugar
Splenda.
substitute. Splenda, yeah. I like Splenda.
Probably have
Those
some.
Yellow packets is what I like, Splenda.
That's
But it's
it.
more sweet than sugar.
Yep. All right, well, there we go. We did that.
It's fine. I mean, I might go blind in an hour, but then you can, not drink the rest of it. Save yourself.
Yes, that's right.
Some tourists just died in Thailand, I think, because they were at bars.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Thailand. And they were served, I think by the bar, methanol. And so they died of methanol poisoning.
All right, here's the story. It's
Some of them were
Laos.
Australian. That's why I...
Sixth
seen
foreign tourist dies of suspected methanol poisoning in Laos.
That's bad.
Australian teenager Holly Bowles has become the sixth foreign tourist to die from suspected methanol poisoning in Laos. This is from Flora Dury for BBC. 19-year-old died more than a week after falling ill in the tourist town of Vang Vieng. Her friend Bianca Jones, 19, and British lawyer Simone White, 28, from southeast London, were confirmed to have died on Thursday.
28-year-old.
An unnamed U.S. man and two Danish women, aged 19 and 20, are also among the victims of the poisoning.
The dead victims, right? This is not even just like hospitalized.
Yeah.
There's more people. I think there was like 20
Another
or some
woman's
people.
in the hospital.
Yeah.
New Zealand and Dutch officials are monitoring it.
It's terrible. I mean, it's just like add another one of these like things you have to worry about when you're
Jeez.
traveling or drinking in establishments. That it's methanol, not ethanol, which is poisonous and lethal.
Yeah, it sure is.
Mm-hmm.
Methanol poisoning has long been a well-known issue across Southeast Asia, particularly in poorer countries along the Mekong River. It is hard to detect in drinks, and victims typically don't see symptoms right away.
And I think it's cheaper than regular alcohol, so they cut the drinks with it, which probably if like you don't put much in there, you can get away with for a while, right?
The problem arises from alcohol suppliers exploiting an environment where there is low law enforcement and almost no regulation in food and hospitality industries.
It's so scary. It's so depressing. Like I can't even imagine.
Drinking 25 milliliters or half a shot can be lethal.
Ugh.
25 milliliters is not very much.
No. So
And you don't get sick for like 24 hours.
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
And then nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, hyperventilation, and breathing problems. If not treated, fatality rates are 20 to 40%. Jesus.
And I'm not sure there's great treatments either. I mean, stomach pumping, I guess, but it's like that stuff is really
You just made that up.
nasty.
You don't know what the treatment is.
There isn't a great treatment. 6 people died. I did just make that up.
There we go.
But yes, I did just make that up.
Let's see. The treatment for methanol poisoning. Approach to the treatment of methanol intoxication from the American Journal of Kidney Diseases. Okay, it's serious. Okay. Test to discover. Okay. The treatment can include the administration of ethanol or fomipizole, both inhibitors of the enzyme alcohol dehydrogenase to prevent formation of its metabolites, and hemodialysis to remove methanol and formate.
Dialysis. That's
Yep.
pumping your blood around, right?
In this acid-base and electrolyte teaching case, a patient with methanol intoxication due to ingestion of model airplane fuel is described,
Ugh.
and value and limitations of current and new diagnostic treatment measures are discussed.
I mean, we used to hear about this when I was younger because of alcoholics. They couldn't get ethanol, and so they would drink anything, which is to include what they think they called wood alcohol or something, grain alcohol. I mean, yeah, but it's bad.
Yeah.
Real bad.
Treatment consists of this is from Wikipedia, stabilizing the person followed by the use of an antidote. The preferred antidote is fomepizole with ethanol used if this is not available. Hemodialysis may be used if there's organ damage or a high degree of acidosis.
Isn't ethanol the alcohol that's in vodka?
I think so.
So
Other treatments may include sodium bicarbonate, folate, and thiamine. That's all stuff you can get at the grocery store.
Wow. You can here. Yeah.
It's baking soda.
Yeah. If you're in Laos, maybe it's harder. I'm just saying.
Fomepizole, also known as 4-methylpyrazole, is a medication used to treat methanol and ethylene glycol poisoning.
Yikes.
Okay.
Anyway, be careful what you're drinking, and
bring some baking soda with you.
Trust no one. Don't let anyone else pour you a drink. How's that?
No, it's a good idea.
For all sorts of reasons.
Okay.
Be that as it may, the claw shake, the Malort handshake is good.
Chicago handshake.
The Chicago handshake is good.
No.
It's tasty. It's tasty. And Chicago, anything with Chicago in it, I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Unfortunately or fortunately. I went to a bar in Chicago once, and they had some kind of contest where if you won or if you did something, you got a plastic Viking helmet.
Oh.
And I still have the plastic Viking helmet, but I don't remember what I did to get it. I can't remember if it was to drink a few beers or do shots, or I'm sure it was something. But it was a cool little Viking helmet. This was in the 90s, so I'm not sure it's Googleable.
That's okay.
I don't even know what bar it was. Somewhere in Chicago.
Yeah. Okay. You called this podcast. What do you want to talk about?
Oh, my goodness.
You can't be like, we need to podcast, and then just be like, okay, Jen, go ahead.
We could do a dog update. We had a dog sitter here.
Mm-hmm.
And
we took a little mini vacay.
And while she was here, Feta and Zola took a little mini vacay.
No, Ella and Zola.
Oh, Ella and Zola. Sorry. Feta is, for once, the good one. Good job, Feta.
Yeah, they did an escapo.
There's random people next door, not the steak neighbors, but they're at steak neighbor's house. And so it smells interesting over there. For some reason, it's a much more of a draw than when it's vacant. And according to the dog sitter, Ella and Zola got a head of steam and just went zoop right over there.
That's not quite what she said. What she said was
further.
They were gone.
That's true. They went further.
I was panicked, and then eventually they showed back up at the gate with tennis balls in their mouths.
At the outside of the gate. That's right.
Yes. Ella's very upset to be in the crate right now.
You eat stuff.
They escaped the day before we left for our little vacay. Either the front door was not latched, like we closed it but it didn't quite catch, or they opened it, which Ella can do. She jumps up and pushes down the little handles, and the front gate was open, so 4 dogs went outside.
And the door was gaping open. It was very scary.
Yeah. Yeah, Ingo and I think were, I was in the bathroom by my office, and you were in the other bathroom, and I came out, and the door was open, and then you come out, and I was like, did you let them out? And you're like, no, I was in the bathroom. I'm like, so was I, and yet the door is open. And so Feta and Remy were still in the yard, and the blondies were gone. And we were both running up and down the street, and eventually they came out of somebody's yard. I called, and they just came running out, and they were like, "Hi!"
This was the best.
And so I think they learned from that episode how to escape. And
that
then
there's a world outside the gate, which is like a whole, Disney episode.
Do you think she needs to go out?
I don't know. Out of the crate, sure. I'll let her out.
Okay. All right. Dogs have been out. Except Feta's obsessed with that coconut. I think you've made a mistake.
I mean,
Feta.
I wish I could say it never happens, but
Feta.
It does.
Nugget came back in with a piece of coconut, and now Feta is like, I would like that coconut.
Something's starting to smell really good, but you're making a pie.
It's the queso. I should take it out of the oven. Hang on. All right, queso is a success.
Broke her.
You don't even have the mic in your hand right now.
I was eating queso. I don't want to do that into the mic.
Good job.
That would be rude.
All right, what else do we have to talk about?
Our Skelly fell down.
Skelly's dead.
Skelly Felly.
Mm-hmm.
12-foot skeleton fell 12 feet to his doom.
The head did fall 12 feet. Yes, he broke several bones,
He
ribs.
He fell sideways, and now we know what the wind limit is of a Skelly.
Yeah.
It's about 25.
I see you looking at your phone. Do you have a fun fact to share with us?
No, I have an agenda. That's one of them is Skelly fell down.
Okay.
Would you like to talk about that some more?
No.
I don't have any more fun facts than that. Here's some more fun facts.
Wait.
Thank you to... now you're calling them fun facts. Thank you to the people who sent us the knitted conkers.
Yes. Crocheted, please. They're crocheted conkers.
Crocheted conkers. What a Philistine I am. They're, of course, crocheted.
Mm-hmm. Big difference.
They're made, handmade conkers. They're a little bit bigger than normal conkers.
Wait a minute.
And they seem like they're easier to work with.
They're like grapefruit sized.
And also they don't hurt or, smack.
Ella, shut up. You're fine. You can smack, and we smacked him into each other. We played conkers with him.
They do more of a squish bounce.
Mm-hmm. One of them's got a black eye.
Yeah. I think the beauty of conkers is they break.
Mm-hmm. These don't break.
We tried. It did not break.
Correct.
But I don't have a steel one like that cheater, the conker cheater. Conker cheater.
I think he was cleared.
He was
exonerated.
He just what? He happened to have a steel conker in his pocket, which is suspicious. You can see where there was questions.
Yeah.
But I wasn't there. More power to the investigating body. Also, I won a grand prize of a year's supply of Celsius drink.
I want to say that grand prize was an auction. You won an auction for a year's supply of
for
Celsius.
I overpaid for a year's supply of Celsius, but now I have a bunch of cases of Celsius in the basement.
Yes,
That's pretty
you
funny.
do.
That is pretty funny. I've never had a year's supply of anything. This is awesome. We were at a 1510 event.
15 out of 10.
15 out of 10 event. And they had a silent auction, and I was in a bidding mood. I also bid on some vineyard experience.
You won that too.
That would require me. I know I didn't want to win that one. That would require me to go to California again and hang out somewhere and do a wine tasting. So it seemed like a fun thing that I could bid on.
Yeah.
But I'm having regrets. And that may be a coupon that goes unused. Unlike the Celsius, which I am quite happily drinking. Yum,
the
yum.
year's supply of Celsius has arrived.
And is being taken to task.
Yeah.
Yep, I have no problem with that. It is saving me actual Celsius or other Celsius, paid Celsius.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going pretty well. We also have solar cells on our house.
We did talk about that last time.
Oh.
And how they went on the front.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it.
But now they're on and working, so at least there's consolation
So you
that
guys,
the damn things still work.
We have a Tesla Powerwall, which we did talk about last time, and it comes with an app. And, when the installer guy was installing, he's like, okay, download this app. I got to push a button on the thing. We got it all set up. And I had to create a login. And GR Dad and I obviously have our own emails, but we both check the Golden Ratio email account. And so I'm like, I'm going to...
You weren't going to tell me?
No. I mean, I was like, I will make the Golden Ratio email the email that our Tesla account is connected to, so we both can log in. And so I set the account up, and I was like, Ingo, if you download this app and you log in with like the Golden Ratio email, you can monitor, and it shows like how much solar power is being generated by the panels, and like what's the charge of your battery wall, and how much is your house consuming, how much you're using from the grid, and eventually we'll be able to feed solar back onto the grid. And I was like, Ingo's gonna fucking be obsessed with this app. And I was like, here you go, Ingo. And like literally 2 days ago, I like come out of my office and the ceiling fans are off. I'm like, why are the ceiling fans off? And he's like, I'm testing what impact they have on our power usage. I was like, I am absolutely not living in this house. I am not living in like whatever the household equivalent of fucking hypermiling is. You have that app open for hours a day. You're like, oh, the solar production just dropped. I'm like, there's a cloud outside. And you're like, the solar production just dropped. You're like obsessed with the app.
I'm going to delete the app. I don't need this.
Wait, you don't need like my criticism, or you don't need the?
Both.
Oh.
I mean, clearly this is like addictive to me, so I don't want to do it anymore.
You seem a little addicted to the app.
I'm off the app now. We don't need data. We don't need data. It's fine. It's all fine.
Interesting.
It's good. I just want to make sure it's working. I haven't even had it for like 2 weeks. I just want to make sure like stuff is still working. I'm worried about it wasn't hooked up properly, or like they were installed upside down, or we had our front door installed backwards for 2 months.
Uh-huh.
You don't think there's a possibility to put the solar cells on upside down? It's possible.
Like with the back facing the sun?
Yes. Yes. That would impact production, Jen.
It would. Like if you painted them white. Wouldn't work then.
They would look better, though, if they were painted white.
They would.
I would only be doing that for you.
Please don't do that.
Painting them white.
Oh, my God. I'm having regrets.
Maybe you could put toilet paper over them, because that's, like, permeable.
Oh, my God.
That lets the sunlight through. That would look really good.
What else do you want to talk about?
Hang on. I got a list. What else? Thank you for all the people who still send cards to the mailbox, P.O.
Ingo
box.
loves that stuff.
Yep.
I mean, I like it too.
Wedding announcements. Someone, and I forgot the name, and I don't have the thing in front of me because I'm not as prepared as Jen, sent a wedding announcement or a review of wedding pictures, and they were getting married in front of a big hobbit door like thing, and it was beautiful. They were beautiful pictures.
Hobbit
So
door? What's
I like
a
it.
hobbit door?
It's a round wooden door, like from hobbits, like from Hobbiton, from the Shire.
So listen,
So it looked good.
I didn't watch any of those movies in the theater, and I had knee surgery to fix a torn meniscus in my IT band, and I had it on both sides. And the first time I watched like 4 seasons of House, and the second time, a year later, I was like, friends, I'm having knee surgery, and I basically just have to sit on the couch for like 3 or 4 days. I'm not really supposed to do anything because it's all swollen, and you got to give it a few days. And does anyone have an idea for what I could watch? Because I'm going to be watching a lot of TV. And this colleague friend of mine was like, what do you think about Lord of the Rings? And I was like, I've never seen Lord of the Rings. And he's like, well, I have all of them, like the extended director's cut. And I think that means each movie is like 7 hours. And he's like, I will lend you the DVDs for this. And I was like, sounds great, friend. Thank you. And I put them on. And I have never wanted a thing to be over as much as I wanted the first one of those damn movies to be over. I don't think I made it all the way through. I hated it so much, which I should know, because I don't like anything if it's got a wizard or a fucking sword in it or...
King Arthur?
No. Swords. No.
Anything
Wizards,
with the
no.
Crusades?
No.
All right. How about the last Indiana Jones movie?
Is there a wizard in that?
No, it's a crusade. There's a sword somewhere.
Oh, I mean, there's like the one old
chalice,
crusader guy guarding
the Grail.
the Holy Grail.
The Holy Grail.
I don't like that guy in it so much, but that was okay.
Okay.
If it were all that guy, I probably wouldn't have liked it.
How about the Holy Grail Monty Python guys? I mean, that's a lot of swords.
Okay, you're right. That's maybe the exception that proves the rule.
Yeah, I mean, all right, Monty Python is its own category. That is not
Yeah.
Tolkien adjacent
Yeah.
or fantasy, really.
Yeah.
That's not even fantasy.
Mm.
That's absurd.
Pirates, no. Knights, no. Wizards, fucking no. Elves, absolutely
Like,
not.
you'd be open to documentary information about pirates, but not fantasy about pirates.
I'm barely open to documentary information about pirates or crusaders or knights, Vikings.
What?
Barely.
You don't even like Civil War battles. You don't even enjoy... I mean, that actually speaks for you. No, so never mind. That's great. That's great.
This is like a nice thing. Like, I travel so much, and I know when I'm gone, you're watching all these like weird ass old war documentaries that like I would be like, why is this on?
I've discovered YouTube has like so many documentaries about Napoleon and his battles and stuff. I had no idea. There's so many Napoleon battles.
Oh my God.
And campaigns. I know all of it now, except I have to review it because I don't remember it all.
Well,
Sometimes
you
I
can
vacuum
keep
while it's
watching
on.
it. Yeah. Sometimes you vacuum while it's on.
So yeah, it's funny. We have separate YouTube like logins, where it lets you choose. Because mine is all like, battle of this, Attila versus, the Hungarians. It's like the Prague battle of 1416.
Terrible.
The Battle of the Nations in Leipzig. Yeah, I mean it's a whole thing. But you not interested?
Very actively disinterested. Yes.
I enjoyed. Well, I think I read Lord of the Rings when I was 12, 13, right? And it was like really intense and dark and like emotionally involving at the time.
Huh.
Like I remember like the music I was listening to when I was I was reading it, like the surroundings. It was very like intense. It's very intense when you're 14.
Yeah, I mean I can see that.
And so I have a fond spot for the books, and the movies are fun. I mean they're epic. They're like
They're not. There's nothing fun about
goofy.
them.
You don't like the Hobbits?
I do not like the Hobbits.
humor
I don't
of the
think they're.
Hobbits?
I hate the humor of the Hobbits.
What about the Hero's Quest? Do you like the Hero's Quest?
I do not. No.
That's why you don't like Star Wars.
How
either.
many women are in the?
Hobbits?
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot. There's a couple.
All the whole
elves.
Lord of the Rings trilogy. Give me the percentage of characters who are women.
2 out of. I mean, main character, right?
All characters.
Yeah, like 2 out of 20.
How about out of the 4,000?
Oh, you can't count the orcs and the riders.
How many out of 4,000? Also probably 2.
That speak?
No, that you just see.
Oh, tons. There's tons of in the war, the women are being ferried to the back, or they're manning the ramparts or something. They're featured.
Ferried to the back?
Yeah. There's a couple women who have real impact on the story, but a couple is about right. So let's say 3.
Uh-huh.
One is like a fairy, one is an elf, and one is the daughter of the male king of Rohan.
And how many men are there?
And she gets to say the awesome rejoinder when the elf, not the elf king, the main bad guy, Nazgul king, whatever, says, "I can be killed by no man." She stabs him in the heart and says, "I am no man," and takes off her helmet.
Uh-huh.
It's fucking awesome. That's a great, epic moment in cinematic history. I am no man. And she flings her hair out. And he crumples because he's dead. Again, more dead. I mean, he was already dead, but he's more dead.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. I mean, there aren't a lot of men who get epic lines like that. There's some dwarves and some elves.
Tell me
Yes.
3 other epic lines from the Lord of the Rings trilogy. This isn't like a quiz, just...
Other epic lines?
I mean, you said this is an epic line.
I mean, how about third breakfast? The hobbits are always eating. That's their joke.
Yeah, that's a guy who says that line.
Stupid hobbits.
What else?
They're taking the hobbits to Isengard? No.
Who gets to say that?
Anyone who wants to sing that little song. I don't know.
I'm just saying.
My precious is repeated many times.
Dude. Also a dude.
Well, yeah. No longer really a dude. He's like a little salamander. He's turned quite amphibious.
It's an awfully male-centric movie.
Of course. Yes. Totally. I mean, yes. It is a very limited worldview by necessity. It was invented by some dude.
You could have easily recast that with half women.
Oh, that's interesting. That is interesting. The fandom would have had a problem with it. You're right. But you're right.
The male
see
part
that.
of the fandom.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't have to be 25 hours, but, they allowed it, and they showed it in theaters. It was ridiculous. Remember, this was originally, children, this was in theaters where you had to sit through the whole thing. People watched, like, multiple showings of 3 hours.
People still watch movies in theaters and go,
Children.
oh my God.
There was no other place to watch it for a little while.
That's like true of most movies, Ingo. You watch them in the theater and then you can watch them elsewhere.
I feel like that is what we're back to. Fair enough. Fair enough.
It's not the panini anymore.
And thanks goodness. All right, anyway. So
I'm not watching anything with a fucking wizard in it or a sword.
that's fair.
I did not, when I was like little, kids were way into The Hobbit and I didn't like it. And so I did not read the Lord of the Rings trilogy until some boy was like, you haven't read the Lord of the Rings trilogy? And I was
oh my
like,
God, he mansplained you as a kid. He had
not as a kid. I was a
genetically-
fucking adult. I'm calling him a boy.
Oh,
You know who this is.
he was a boy,
Yeah.
but it's genetic. He didn't have to learn to mansplain. He was always mansplaining.
And I was like, fine, I'll read it. And I was like, okay, it's got swords and wizards. Like,
I mean,
just
it was
don't give a
tainted
fuck.
by the recommender, but also you
No.
just don't like it.
Then
You know what
see-
you like.
I want to say that, like, I have dated a lot of, like, bad eggs, but every guy I have dated pretty much has brought to me something that I have incorporated into my life that I love. The, like, terrible guy that I dated on the, like, rebound from my marriage, he is the guy who introduced me to Two Amy's in D.C.
Which is a great, maybe
Best-
the best pizza place.
Fucking amazing pizza. My
Fair enough.
college fiance, who is now dead, he taught me to keep score at a baseball game.
Yeah.
I keep score at every baseball game now.
Mhm.
It is the thing that gave me my love of baseball.
Oh,
And even though he was like super problematic, I think of him fondly every time I go to a baseball game because he is the one who taught me how to keep a scorecard. And when I go to Two Amy's, I'm like, at least that fucker like taught me this place.
yeah.
And so if the Lord of the Rings was awesome, it doesn't matter that it came from like that douchebag. I would have been like, he was terrible, but hey, thanks for introducing me or making me finally read the Lord of the Rings.
That's fair.
But it was not.
Well,
I did not like
He
it.
may not have contributed that much good stuff to you.
No.
Maybe like negative examples, perhaps. Which is okay.
Well, they all
Sometimes-
have negative examples.
Sometimes you
Nico.
just need negative examples. That's okay.
He could be the
Yeah,
exception
fair
to
enough.
that rule.
We all have a history, and
there's-
everything is fine.
Yeah.
Everything is fine. People are
okay.
weird and complicated,
Mm-hmm.
but also annoying sometimes.
All right, what else do you want to talk about?
Hang on. I might go.
Oh, that's right. Pull up your
I
agenda.
don't have a memory. It's like a sieve up there. It's not very good up there in my brain. Also, I've had this weird drink.
The Chicago handshake.
That's about it.
Okay.
That's all I want to talk about. And then, just for whoever thinks that we're holding stuff together, I mean, we're doing our best. But the other day I went to the vet with Ella, and I was supposed to bring in a urine specimen.
Uh-huh.
And I had put her in the car. I probably put Brody in the car. I think Brody was getting a massage, laser acupuncture sesh. So I got both of them in the car, and I was like, I started driving.
Uh-huh.
I was like, where's the urine specimen? No, it had been on the running board, and so it was by the side of the road. So I had to drive back, pick up the urine
You
cup.
found it on the side of the road.
Yay!
Wow.
Put it back in, and I brought it to the vet, and they didn't even want it. They got new urine from her that was like quote unquote sterile. They didn't
Yeah.
want my roadside pee specimen. Boy, apparently it was banged up,
Wow.
but it held up. It had a lid on it and everything. So I was very relieved about that. I also drove away from a gas station the other day with
Goldfish.
a bag of gold, the goldfish crackers that are like,
Except we have the megabyte.
we have the megabytes, which are bigger, better
They're great.
for
They are
all
better.
purposes.
Yeah.
recommend
Delish.
But the dogs really like the mega ones. That's why I have them in my
also
car. Anyway, I put it on the roof, and whoop. In hindsight, I'm sure it's on Route 1 somewhere, or the gas station chickens are enjoying megabyte goldfish now. But
those chickens are so happy.
I am doomed. If I put stuff on top of the car, I will instantly forget it. I've lost a few wallets that way. I had a briefcase up there once. I had just one of those red welts, and I was driving to work, and I saw like stuff flying off the roof.
Oh no!
Because I had a roof rack, so it was kind of stuck in there. But the papers were feeding out.
Oh my God.
I was like, oh, this is a disaster. That happened to my wallet too. I was going down a major two-lane road, and like stuff was flying off the back of the car, and I was like, oh, that's my wallet. So I stopped and I grabbed the credit cards, and I got stuff out of the the side of the street. Yeah, don't put anything on top of your car that you can't afford to lose. And I still do it. No. Because at the time, it seems that's the solution. Put it on top of the car. Mm-hmm. Will I learn? Too late. It's probably too late. And will I? No. The stuff still goes flying or lost. So, lesson to everyone: if you love something, don't put it on top of your car when you're getting in, because it's probably out of sight, out of mind. Don't do it. Do we have a dog update? Everyone's doing fine.
Elle has another UTI. She's on antibiotics. Everybody else is fine.
Hard to tell. She's also not happy being in the crate. But
no, she really wants the fuck out. And yet the more you ramble, the more time she spends in there.
That's it. One person's rambling trash is a lot of other people's rambling treasure.
You are right about that.
Yeah. Sometimes a blind chicken finds a corn.
That is a thing that you guys say.
A grain.
Ingo says that to me sometimes.
Yeah, I think I'm mostly out of ideas.
Okay.
That's it?
Thanks, everyone, for listening.
You're going to contribute zippy?
You called this, and I'm
nada? There's not a taste of the Keys. There's not it's the end of season storm flag burning. It's not we enjoy ourselves. Something, I don't know. Nothing, huh?
Mm-mm.
Wow. Anyway, it's the end of storm season. We got lucky this season.
Tomorrow we're going to go watch the burning of the
I'm grateful for
hurricane.
that in the spirit of Thanksgiving. I'm grateful we didn't get hit by a major storm, and the worst damage we had was that our 12-foot skeleton fell over and fell apart.
And that was just for nothing.
It was not even a named anything.
It was just breezy.
We luckily didn't get to use our hurricane flags at all. We just used the tropical storm flags.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nothing this year.
Yeah, so it's okay.
So we, in Key West, do a ceremonial burning of the hurricane flags on the last day of hurricane season, which is tomorrow, Saturday the 30th, and we're going to go.
Yep. They soak them in rum, so they burn better.
Look for my photos on the newswire.
At least they do when the distiller of the rum is in charge of the flag burning. Who knows? Mm-hmm. Maybe normally they soak them in something else, but he provides some rum.
I think it's always rum, as it should be.
It should definitely be rum.
Yeah.
So that's a small gratitude.
Yeah.
Didn't get stormed.
Indeed.
Yep. That's it. That's all I got.
Thanks, everyone, for listening.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thanks, everyone, for commenting. Thanks, everyone, for appreciating. And we hope to bring you more content that is, shows you a small world where things are still okay and uncomplicated.
And until next time, Slava Ukraini, and don't bet anyone unless they ask you to.
That's right.
Bye.
Bye.